You're going to have to turn your flashlight on soon. Okay?
Alright, here I go, stepping into Hezekiah's tunnel, or you might have heard it called the Siloam tunnel or the Shiloach tunnel. Hezekiah's tunnel is a winding passage about 533 meters, that's around 1748 feet, snaking its way through solid rock. Why was it carved out? Well, it had a crucial mission: to channel water from the Gihon spring in the Kidron Valley outside the city walls all the way into the pool of Siloam within the walls of the city of David. In Chronicles number 2, there is a reference to King Hezekiah's water channeling project. The verse goes like this: "This same Hezekiah closed the upper outlet of the waters of Gihon and directed them down to the west side of the city of David." Now we are about to exit Hezekiah's tunnel and explore the passage that goes through the Canaanite tunnel.
Yeah, we're walking through a 4,000-year-old Canaanite tunnel. Water used to flow through this tunnel. Originally, this was I'll say this. This might have been the main irrigation system of Jerusalem during the Canaanite period. Water that was flowing in this tunnel eventually was shooting out into the valley, into the fields, and irrigating them. And when King Hezekiah built his tunnel to divert the water, the one we're walking in right now dries out. So we're already kind of halfway through. Watch your step here. There's a puddle. Another puddle. That's a mistake. They carved and realized they're going the wrong way. All right, you could see the end. We will walk through a revolving door, up a staircase. So this is modern. The gray stuff around us is modern for support. Most of the tunnel we walked through didn't have this. So it was original, but there was a portion in the tunnel we had to install this to make sure things above us don't collapse. Yeah. As we walk through the pool of Siloam, I think I'll tell you the story of how the wet tunnel was created. But before that, there are two things I'd like to show you. Number one, these olive trees in front of us are more than 500-year-old olive trees. Yes. Number two, on our right in a moment, you're going to see the ancient original walls of Jerusalem from the Canaanite period, from the Jebusite time, the same walls King David seen 3,000 years ago. We're going to be walking along these ancient walls. Remember, the old city walls that people are familiar with today are baby walls. They were built here only 500 years ago by Sultan Suleiman during the Ottoman period. The original walls of the city are here in front of us. Let's walk along them. Enjoy the view. As we've seen, the water okay, is the main resource that a city needs to exist. No water, no life. And the Gihon spring, the famous biblical spring, is closer to the valley. And this area is not that safe. Who thought of that during the first temple period? King Hezekiah. During his time, King Hezekiah, who by the way was King David's great-great-great-grandson, deems this location in the valley as unsafe. And he needs to prepare for war because the great Assyrian Empire is making its way to the city. And King Hezekiah says to his men, we need to divert the water. We need to find a safer location for it. And what he does, 2,700 years ago, he digs a tunnel underneath the city and he changes the course of the water. The water now starts flowing to a much safer location, okay? The pool that we went through dries out, okay? When the Assyrians are here besieging the city, okay, the people living inside still have water without the enemy knowing that they do have. So about 100 years ago, when the Turks were in control of the area, 2 children ran away from school and came down to explore the tunnels over here. One of them came across markings on the wall in the tunnel. When he went back to school, he let his principal know, Mr. Connor Cheek, about these markings. And Connor Cheek comes down, copies the marking on the walls, and actually deciphers it to a 2,700-year-old Hebrew text written by the actual diggers. There is a consensus amongst the academic community that this is a first temple period text written on the wall. Where is it showing today? Where could you see the original tablet? Okay, because I say a tablet because it was cut out of the wall by the Turks. And today, if you go to the Istanbul Museum, you get to see it, to the best of my knowledge, on the 6th floor. I'll show you a picture of how the tablet looks like. So here's Hebrew writing over here. And this was part of the wall of the wet tunnel, but it was taken out, cut out, okay? And as we walk, I could translate what it says. The aqueduct is finished, and this is its account. While the masons are lifting their axes one towards another, and while there's only 3 feet left to meet, they could hear each other's voices on both ends because there was a crack in the stone. And on the day they met, they hit axe to axe, and the water went from the origin to the pool. Look at that. The diggers who were digging from both ends and meeting in the middle left us a warm regards from 2,700 years ago. See this corner down here?
Which one?
See a corner?
Yeah.
You see there's a corner here, right?
Right.
The other corner is where the kids are on the other side.
Yeah.
So these stairs you see right now is one side of the entire pool. The original size of this 2,000-year-old purification bath is 2 Olympic pools. Most of it is still under dirt, and this is a new excavation that started only this year. The plan is to dig the entire thing, okay? For many years, only these staircases were excavated, okay? Now they started digging the rest of the pool. And let me tell you the story of how they dug the beginning of the pool. If you look at the picture over here, you can imagine that everything was covered by dirt. And inside the dirt, there was a sewage pipe, okay, which exploded. And the city sends a team to fix it, okay? This sewage pipe ran kind of where we're standing at our head level, okay? So you just need to imagine there's dirt filling up this entire area, and there's a sewage, and it explodes. Now, they were smart enough, the city municipality was smart enough to have an archaeologist supervise, because as they were digging underneath the pipe, even lower than what they dug originally to install it, they came across the ancient pool. And right away, the archaeologist said, we're going to have to come back and dig over here. So you're going to have to install a temporary pipe. Let me show you a picture of the temporary pipe that they installed. Here are the ancient stairs, and here's the temporary pipe, okay? This black line. The dig over here was conducted between the years 2004 and 2007. For 3 years, they dug what we see in front of us, okay? And in that dig, they actually found the beginning of the ancient pilgrimage road leading people from the pool, okay, after they were purified, leading them up to the temple, okay? Today, many parts of this ancient pathway are being excavated. We're going to go now and see part of the road, the Promenade, the main marketplace in Jerusalem 2,000 years ago. And we will see some shops that were carved in the bedrock. Let's go take a look. Maybe over here. Over here. I could pick this up. All right, let's go.
I am now heading down to see the rectangular pool from the Byzantine period. In the past, water flowed into the larger pool that we just saw and that is currently undergoing excavations. The entrance here is actually the exit point of Hezekiah's tunnel, the same place where you observed me entering at the beginning of this episode.
Because we sprinkle spices.
really?
Yeah. You could see an exhibit here in a shop, the first shop in the road leading up to the Temple Mount and the temple. The second shop is right over here. Okay. And you get a taste of what could have been sold along the way going up to the temple. Like you said, herbs, spices,
Right.
oil, livestock, vegetation, vegetables, fruits. These tiles we're standing on right now, okay, are 2,000-year-old tiles. This is the original street. This is one side of the street. The other side of the street is 150 feet, okay? So as we would go up 2,000 years ago, The street became narrower and narrower. Eventually, it reached about 30 feet wide, which is still pretty wide for an ancient street. The people, the pilgrims who purified themselves in the bath, in the, what we say in Hebrew, mikveh, walked up in a bottleneck, okay? And the traffic was pretty hectic back then, okay, during the holidays, because as we said before, hundreds of thousands of people would come here from all over the country. If you look over here on the floor, you'll see that some of the tiles are broken, and through them, we could look into a drainage system. There are two parallel drainage systems, one on this side, one on the other side. We're going to walk now to the other side, start climbing up, and we're going to walk all the way back to the visitor center underneath the 2,000-year-old marketplace through the drainage system, which we only opened up to the public in 2012. So this has been going on now for 10 years now. And the story of the drainage system, I'll tell you after we walk through it, okay? Watch your step here, there's a puddle. All right, take a deep breath. We are in for the most challenging 10 minutes of the tour. We're climbing upstairs, then in a tunnel. Most of the tunnel is uphill. It's not steep. It's relatively moderate. There are places where we have to duck a little bit. It's dry, it's lit, it is cool. And still, when we get to the top, so embrace yourselves. All right, I'll tell you the story as we're walking, but let's first get to the drainage system. And once we start walking through that, we'll tell the 2,000-year-old story. So. All right, you're starting now to walk in the drainage system. Watch your head. I'm constantly, if you hear me say ow, that means you need to duck. All right. In the year 66, 2,000 years ago, towards the end of the Second Temple era, the Jews living here in the city rebel against the Romans. This rebellion was so severe that Jerusalem decides to send up north one of their most talented commanders. For now, we'll call him Joe. Joe goes up north to fight the Romans. In the beginning, he has some success, but eventually he falls captive. And he becomes a prisoner of war. They don't execute him. He's going to see the Roman conquest through the Roman perspective. And after the Romans return back home, they take Joe with them. He's going to settle down and he's going to write a book. A book that 2,000 years later we inherit. It is called The War of the Jews Against the Romans, written by Josephus Flavius. In the book, he tells us that in the year 70, when the Romans were destroying the temple, some of the Jews fled to the drainage system beneath the main street. For many years, when we were reading the book, we had no idea what Josephus was talking about. What main street? What drainage system? But when we found this tunnel, which was filled with dirt, and we had to clean it out, things started to click. The people that ran down to hide here came down with their pots and food that could last them for a few days. We found those vessels. We found coins with Hebrew inscription on them. Year 1 to the freedom of Zion. Year 2 to the freedom of Zion. This is the text that was on the coin. There are 4 types of coins from year 1 to year 4. Because year 4 was the last year of the rebellion. It was the year 70, Common Era, when the Romans destroyed the temple. You have to understand that the story down here does not have a happy ending. The Jews that were hiding here in the dark, hoping that the Romans will walk over their heads and leave, they were found. And the Romans bashed the tiles, jumped down. Some of the Jews hiding over here were killed. Some of them were sold as slaves, later to be shipped to Rome and work on a project that the Romans started on the same year the temple was being destroyed. Which project? The Colosseum. I don't know if Jewish people built the pyramids. I do know that Jewish people were part of the teams that were building the Colosseum 2,000 years ago. So let's enjoy the walk. So in the year 70, the temple was destroyed. Most of the rebellion was over. There were a few groups that went to the desert and still were fighting up to the year 73. 73 is the year that all rebellion was quashed or squashed. That's it. But most of the rebellion was already over after the temple was destroyed. You hear the diggers above us, right?
Underneath the Givati parking lot?
We'll get to the Givati parking lot soon. We're still not there. We're ending back at the visitor center, yes?
Yeah.
Where we started. Okay. So yeah, we'll go through Givati, of course. Yeah, watch your head. Low ceiling. Low ceiling. Yeah, I know. All right. Oh man, watch your head again. All right. Halfway there. That was the easy half.
Just the half?
Yeah. What? No. Now comes the challenging part. Get ready.
So we know this, what you just spoke about now.
Yeah.
We know this because Flavius
Wrote it in his book. He's not the only source, but he's one of the main ones. Yeah.
And is he considered a reliable source?
Mostly. Mostly. There was some Roman censorship going on. Okay. But compared to other texts that are driven by different ideologies, different motivations and agendas, this is considered to be a more reliable text. Okay? Are we okay?
Yeah, I'm not in shape as you can see.
Nobody is. I'm huffing and puffing here.
Yeah.
Listen, the good news is, yeah, we have about 100 meters to go. Yeah. You want me to carry the bag for a little bit?
It's okay.
Okay. Don't break your back, man.
No, that's the hardest part.
The what?
to bend,
To bend
down.
over here. Yeah, watch out over here. Watch your head. Watch your neck. Watch your neck. Watch your head again. All right. This is like a low point. The lowest. Just for a second. Watch your head when you raise back up. Still low ceiling. All right. We're almost done with the challenge.
Yeah?
Yeah. We're close to the end of the hard part. So you did it. Almost there. Okay. Almost there. There's one more low part, and let's take a breather. Let's take a breather. Do we need a drink? Well, I know.
I don't need to go to the gym today.
No, we are exempt from the nightly sport you planned, whatever it is. Don't do it.
It's
Done. Woo! Now, how do you convey through the video
Yeah.
what we're experiencing now?
No.
It's impossible.
I think you need a close-up of sweat.
Yeah.
Someone's chest.
And
At least it's cool.
The heavy breathing.
At least it's cool.
At least it's
Yeah.
cool. I agree. The limestone does a good AC job.
Right.
All right.
Almost done?
Yeah,
Yeah.
almost done. We're really close to the end.
Yeah, so let's finish.
Let's do this.
Good.
Are we okay?
just like flashlight.
The flashlight. All right. All right.
I hear people.
Yep, they're above us, the diggers. Watch your head. That's it. We're pretty much. Watch your step. Watch your head. Yo, bow, down. Down, down. I'm taking this now.
All right.
That's enough for you. It's enough for you. All right, I could see the end already.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a set of stairs, metal stairs going up to the door, and 2 floors, and we're in Givati. Actually, the Givati's on our side now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna see it in a second once we go up. On our right side.
See the end.
Yeah.
There is a light. Means we're at the end, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
In 2007, this entire dig was still one big parking lot. The last car space, all the way on the other side, some of you, I don't know if the cameraman could zoom in, there's a white car behind the pile of wood over there. Do you see the car? All the way, the guy's passing behind the car now. Yeah. Okay, that's what's left of the parking lot. So this was covered. And over 15 years ago, they started digging. And archaeologists went through more than 15 different layers. Jerusalem's not one city, it's a city on top of a city on top of a city. We said that before. We've already reached down here, First Temple period artifacts. Now we're gonna share with you these artifacts because we want you to come and see them for yourselves, okay? These are one of the newer digs. We can only walk around the dig. We can't even go down there yet. Archaeologists are not opening this up just yet, but they will. So hopefully within the next few months, maybe a year, they're gonna finish constructing some kind of passageway through the dig, and you'll be able to go down and see some of the most recent findings from the First Temple period. From the 6-Day War up until today, in the last 55 years, we've dug here less than 5% of what there is to dig underneath the ancient city. We have more than 100 years into the future of digging here, and we're not stopping, okay? So I'd like to welcome everybody to come and see what we're finding here.